all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I would like to gift my book, The Golden Key, Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance to you at goldenkey.gift, where you can get the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD at checkout. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a fantastic Friday here in the studio as I record, and I am grateful to be back with you as always to explore a few different thoughts and perspectives and answer a question from a listener, which I haven't done in a minute. And just share whatever's bubbling up for me, whatever feels pertinent and relevant to share on this Friday, this moment in eternity that we all happen to be floating along together in. And before I kind of jump into, I think I'll start with reading the question that someone sent in. I was also thinking something I haven't done in a long time is read a review on iTunes, which of course, is sort of all things, the holy grail of podcasting. And, I used to read reviews all the time, and we had lots of people leaving reviews, and really the show had so much momentum at that time, and I haven't read them in a while, and so people haven't reviewed as much. And, I think probably is getting a little less exposure on iTunes as well. So if you've been listening to this show, whether a long time, you're new to the show and you're appreciating this labor of love that myself and Erica and Sarah, who helps to edit every episode, kind of put into the show. Please take a minute to reflect on iTunes. It helps us to reach new people, and definitely fuels my fire to continue. This particular one came in from Feral Nikki, a Daily Oracle Card Pull is the title. She says, I've only recently started listening to this podcast, but it has already changed my life in so many ways. I listen to at least one episode a day to raise my vibration, and that it does tenfold. I scroll and just randomly pick an episode. It's like a daily oracle card pull, just trusting that I will receive the message that Spirit intends for me to receive. And you definitely, thank you, Nikki, for taking the time to do this and to reflect soon after finding the podcast. So you may or may not know, if you go to positivehead.com, there's a youniverse, YOU universe page where you can play a game with the universe to where it will choose for you, or you can choose a number and it will automatically pull up that episode. We've actually put a link in the show notes that allows you to just click and automatically get an episode that way too. You'll see down below. So I love that you're thinking that way, and it truly is. It's like 1,700 episodes. There's a lot there to oracle, and the way I think of it is your higher self knows everything that's in every single episode, and therefore can serve up, whether through automatically clicking and allowing fate to decide, or whether it's the number that pops in your head is put there by your higher self or guides. But I do truly believe exactly what you're saying. It will lead you exactly to what you need most. And, speaking of that sort of thing happening, before I get to the question, I'll sidetrack here a moment, because I have in front of me a note from the universe, which, I love notes from the universe from Mike Dooley. And this one was kind of relevant for me today. And I'll just read it, because if it's relevant for me, it's probably relevant for you. We're connected. We're reflections of one another. So, I'll read this and then kind of explain why I feel it's relevant. The note from the universe says, from where I sit, it is a mystery to me, Brandon, how so many look back on their past with pride, yet frown with disappointment at their present. Somehow forgetting that back then they were just as self-critical, while somehow missing that today they've never ever been so close to all they've ever wanted. Historical dyslexia? Big love, the universe. And then P.S. You've also never been as good looking as you are today, Brandon. But tell me, please, you already see this for yourself? So, yeah, I think this was really a timely one for me. I just went last week to Arcadia, which was, many of you probably know the podcaster Aubrey Marcus, whose content is very similar to this show, has gotten more so, I think, over the last few years. And, it was a great event, great festival. A lot of my favorite music artists were there. Some guest speakers that, have been on this show before, we're speaking. And, I couldn't help but fall in a little bit to that comparison game, right? I look at someone like him. He's a great example. His content is very similar. He's really played the game, right? He's done a great job playing the game, how posting on social media all the time and, just really putting himself out there in a very by the book way, which has led to a lot of expansion of his show. And I look back on my own journey with this show and, I haven't always done that. I don't post a lot on social media. I don't do a lot of the supposed tos. And so I've had some moments where it's like, even being there, I'm like, I could, I've been going to festivals like this, transformation. I don't know how long he has, but transformational festivals similar to what he is now producing since 2005. So you guys who've been listening a long time have heard me talk about it. So it's such a thing. It's so easy to fall into comparison and hindsight is 2020, right? Where you look backwards and think, gosh, I could have done it better. I could be further along. And the thing about numbers is they never end. So whether you're counting your bank account or podcast downloads or listens or, however you're gauging yourself, other people's followers on social media versus your own, there's no competition. You're one of a kind. You're on your own unique trajectory. And so you may see people that are similar in a lot of ways in their life path. Like I can use him as an example that then can say, oh, well, they're way further along and I did something wrong, but I'm right where I should be. And where I go next is, unwritten and the possibilities are endless. And that goes for you too. So it's kind of like, I like to say to people, well, actually the first time I ever said this, funny enough, one of the people who spoke at his event was Charles Eisenstein, who has been on this podcast years ago. I remember first time I ever met him, I was at an event with him, probably 2016, 17, something like that. And probably 2017, and his son was there. And I remember talking to him about Charles's son about, social media and how easy it is to fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others and creating separation in that way. And it causes a lot of pain in people's lives, seeing the highlight reels of others and then deciding that their life, they're not good enough or they don't hold up, and that whole, disempowering story. And what I said to him at that time in that conversation, I recall, was, what I choose to do and what I encourage people to do is if you see something that you really admire, maybe that is further along in some way, or, they've achieved something that you're still striving for, whatever the story is, you see that social media post, right? That person online as an example, person who has the job you want. Instead of creating comparison and then a disempowering story of how you're not good enough, how about the story of, out of all the things possible to come into your field, to come into your, as a reflection into your world, that is such a close vibrational match that you're seeing it front and center in front of you, right? It's literally right there reflecting you back to you in some way, shape, or form. You're that much closer to it. Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Athletic Greens. I recently went to a naturopathic doctor who did some testing and determined I was having issues with gut health. So when I had the opportunity to start taking Athletic Greens, I jumped at the chance. With one scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. It not only helps with your gut health, it helps your nervous and immune systems, energy levels, and more. And since it contains super high quality ingredients in powder form, it has a very high absorption rate, whereas many pills don't. With just one scoop in a cup of water, you can arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition for less than $3 a day. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give Positive Head listeners a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, which many people are quite low in, as well as 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/positivehead. Again, head over to athleticgreens.com/positivehead to take ownership over your health today. I think that is a much more empowering way to approach and in a much truer way to look at these things. So, like this note from the universe says, instead of looking, frowning with disappointment at your present, instead really appreciating how far you've come and knowing that, every moment is another chance to turn it all around, do a little bit better, and improve where maybe you see, as I referenced earlier, there's things I could have done differently where this show would be reaching way more people than it is, and that's okay. Every moment's another chance to turn it all around, and we are all good enough. So yeah, I just want to reflect that back to you, and that kind of ended up down a little rabbit hole I didn't plan to go down, but of course I'm meant to go down for you and for me. And with that being said, I will go ahead and read this question that someone wrote in. And by the way, I love getting questions. Haven't done that much, and I used to do it a lot years ago. So if you have a question that you would love myself or Erica to respond to, please write into hello@positivehead.com. And we'll check it out and maybe read your question on the show. This one came in from Jess. And Jess said, I just wanted to say that I came across your podcast when I was looking for some uplifting and positive affirmations to help reshape my mindset. It has been extremely helpful lately, and I've been looking forward to listening to more episodes. I actually had a question and would love to hear your take on it. I've listened to a lot of your episodes on manifestation and was wondering what your opinion is on manifesting your specific person. Thanks so much. Best, Jess. Your specific person. I'm assuming Jess is referring to the soulmate, the twin flame, the one that makes it, that makes life worth living, the partner, the perfect reflection. Fill in the blanks. We all know this story, right? And I will say that we all, I think some part of us at some level long for, finding that specific person, the one, if you will. Even if you're in an unconventional relationship structure, an open relationship or polyamorous union or whatever, I still think that's that part of us that really does long for the specific person, that one person that is just, completely helps us to feel whole when it comes to love. And that being said, my thoughts on this, I believe manifesting your specific person will come as a result of understanding the underlying truth beneath all of that. And that is, there's only one of you in the room. There's only one of you. So I always say self-love is the number one thing we're all here to learn, because we're fractals of the one source consciousness, right? God, higher self, the universe, whatever you want to refer to it as. And the one, when all the puzzle pieces go back in the box, it is alone. It is a journey of self-love. We are God experiencing herself. And so the one specific person, actually, I think you're referring to a partner, a romantic partner, right? But I would say the one specific person, the true one specific person is you. You are your own soulmate. You are your own twin flame. And when you fall deeply in love with you and all the reflections of you, love is this thing that just emanates from you. Osho said, yes, I would like you to love yourself, because unless you love yourself, you cannot love anybody else. You don't know what love is if you have not loved yourself and loved yourself fully. He talked a lot about this. He said, I'll read a few. I love because my love is not dependent on the object of love. My love is dependent on my state of being. So whether the other person changes, becomes different, a friend turned into a foe, it does not matter because my love was never dependent on the other person. My love is my state of being. I simply love. And when we can get to the point where we are feeling like, love isn't this thing we achieve, this act that we do, this, it is who we are at the core of our being. Now we've really moved into a state of receptivity where you're not coming to it as, oh, I'm a half and I need to find to become a whole, right? I am whole in myself. And now this other can come as a joyous celebration, a reflection of, another that is also in that state of being completely, satisfied within themselves and at a point where they want to share that self-satisfying love that can only, the kind that can only come within and no one can take away by changing their mood or deciding they no longer care or want to experience spending time and energy with someone else. It can't be taken away because it's coming, the wellspring of true love coming from within. That is when you can really, you can have what you don't need. And, just to speak to it again, here's another great one. Love is not a relationship. Love is a state of being. It has nothing to do with anybody else. One is not in love. One is love. And of course, when one is love, one is in love. But that is an outcome, a byproduct. That is not the source. The source is that one is love. There's so many good ones from Roche. I'll just read. Here's another. Falling in love, you remain a child. Rising in love, you mature. By and by, love becomes not a relationship. It becomes a state of your being. Not that you are in love. Now you are love. So when it comes to finding this other, reflection, the more you can relax into your own self-love and really find what are the barriers, as Rumi said, our job is not to seek for love, but to seek to find the barriers that are here. Let me find the actual quote. Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. That's the path. And then there's nothing holding it back, right? And then what will you attract? That which is a reflection. Water seeks its own level. That which is likened to itself is drawn. So the more we get right within ourselves, the more we really tap into this eternal wellspring of authentic love that can only come from within, the more likely of finding and attracting another, that is experiencing that same thing. And now you come together as two wholes that are just choosing to celebrate the joyousness of each other's presence and energy and synergy without unhealthy need or codependency, right? Which has been so typical in our society historically. But luckily there's you, and you've come along and you are here to set the pace for what it looks like to be in love, to be love in the future. So congratulations, each and every one of you. You are doing it. I am doing it. Hope this helps. Give you some perspective, Jess, on your question. Once again, if you have a question you'd like to have me address, reach out at hello@positivehead.com and send me a little love on iTunes. Would love that. And if not, that's okay too. I still love you regardless. I have a song for you guys today I'm going to leave you with. I decided to play something a little different today, something that's one of my favorite go-tos for meditation, a guy named Dean Evanson. Dean is really awesome, a lot of flute. Very, like if you see a picture of him, this guy has it figured out. I mean, he's straight out of like a fairy tale. The big long white beard and clothes, and he's so talented as a musician. This song is called Grandmother Tree by Dean Evanson. Hope you enjoy. Until next time, journey well. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.